गुरुगणेशाभ्यां नमः।
Vasur Satya Samatma Sammitas Samaha. Today we will look at the meaning of the Divyanama Samaha and also continue with Gandhiji's view on Ramanama as nature cure. Samatvam Yoga Uchyate. The Lord is in the ultimate yoga avastha, perpetually. Ordinary human experience segregates between pleasure and pain, desirable and non-desirable, judgment into good and bad. But in the samatva of yoga avastha, there is no such segregation. The Lord is always in that state. That is because He is Brahman, Parabrahma, Paramatma. Nirdosham hi samam Brahma. There is no defect in Brahman. And also Brahman is equanimous, never excited, neither about the positive nor negative. Sarva kaleshu sarva vikara rehitatvat samaha. He is always like that. Teshvapi parichita aparichita tivra manda samvegittvadi aviganaya gaurave samaiti samaha. His approach is the same towards all. Someone may be familiar, someone is a stranger, someone's devotion is intense, someone is casual, someone is excited. Doesn't matter to him, he is kind towards all. Maya saha vartata iti samaha. Ma is Lakshmi Devi. They both are inseparable. That is also why he is called Samaha. Now I will continue reading the second part of Gandhiji's view on Ramanama as nature cure. Shri Ganesh Shastri Joshi, Vaidya, tells me after reading my article on nature cure in the Harijan on 3rd March 1946 that in Ayurveda too, there is ample testimony to the efficacy of Ramanama as a cure for all diseases. Nature cure occupies the place of honor, and in it, Ramanama is the most important. When Charaka, Vagbhada and other giants of medicine in ancient India wrote, the popular name for God was not Rama but Vishnu. I myself have been a devotee of Tulsidas from my childhood and have therefore always worshipped God as Rama. But I know that if, beginning with Omkar, one goes through the entire gamut of God's names, current in all climes, all countries and all languages, the result is the same. He and His law are one. To observe His law is therefore the best form of worship. A man who becomes one with the law does not stand in need of vocal recitation of the name. In other words, an individual with whom contemplation on God has become as natural as breathing is so filled with God's Spirit that knowledge or observance of the law becomes second nature. Such an one needs no other treatment. The question then arises as to why, in spite of having this Prince of Remedies at hand, we know so little about it, and why even those who know do not remember Him or remember Him only by lip service, not from the heart. Parrot-like repetition of God's name signifies failure to recognize Him as the panacea for all ills. How can they? The sovereign remedy is not administered by doctors, Vaidyas, Hakims or any other medicinal practitioners. These have no faith in it. If they were to admit that the spring of the holy Ganges could be found in every home, their very occupation or means of livelihood would go. Therefore, they must perforce rely on their powders and potions as infallible remedies. Not only do these provide bread for the doctor, but the patient too seems to feel immediate relief. If a medical practitioner can get a few persons to say, "So and so gave me a powder and I was cured," his business is established. Nor, it must be borne in mind, would it really be of any use for doctors to prescribe God's name to patients unless they themselves were conscious of its miraculous powers. Ramanama is no copybook maxim. It is something that has to be realized through experience. One who has had personal experience alone can prescribe it, not any other. The Vaidyaraj has copied out for me 4 verses. Out of these, Charaka says the simplest and most apt. It means that if one were to obtain mastery over even one out of the 1,000 names of Vishnu, all ailments would vanish. Vishnum sahasramurdhanam charajarapatim vibhum stuvanna nama sahasrena jwaran sarvan vyapohati. This appeared in Harijan, dated 24/3/1946. In the armory of the nature curist, Ramanama is the most potent weapon. Let no one wonder at it. A noted Ayurvedic physician told me the other day, "All my life I have been administering drugs. But since you have prescribed Ramanama as a cure for physical ailments, it has occurred to me that what you say has, too, the authority of Vagbhada and Charaka. the recitation of Ramanama as a remedy for spiritual ailments is as old as the hills. But the greater includes the less. And my claim is that the recitation of Ramanama is a sovereign remedy for our physical ailments also. A nature cure, man won't tell the patient, invite me and I shall cure you of your ailment. He will only tell about the all-healing principle that is in every being and how one can cure oneself by evoking it and making it an active force in his life. If India could realize the power of that principle, not only would we be free, but we would be a land of healthy individuals too, not the land of epidemics and ill health that we are today. The potency of Ramanama is, however, subject to certain conditions and limitations. Ramanama is not like black magic. If someone suffers from surfeit and wants to be cured of its after effects so that he can again indulge himself at the table, Ramanama is not for him. Ramanama can be used only for a good, never for an evil end. Or else, thieves and robbers would be the greatest devotees. Ramanama is for the pure in heart and for those who want to attain purity and remain pure. It can never be a means for self-indulgence. The remedy for surfeit is fasting, not prayer. Prayer can come in only when fasting has done its work. It can make fasting easy and bearable. Similarly, the taking of Ramanama will be a meaningless farce when at the same time you are drugging your system with medicines. A doctor who uses his talent to pander to the vices of his patient degrades himself and his patient. What worse degradation can there be for a man than that, instead of regarding his body as an instrument of worshipping his maker, he should make it the object of adoration and waste money like water to keep it going anyhow. Ramanama, on the other hand, purifies while it cures, and therefore it elevates. Therein lies its use as well as its limitation. This appeared in Harijan 7/4/1946. Harihi Om.
यज्ञानश्रेष्ठतमं कर्म